There's a man somewhere in Nairobi right now, staring at his phone. Three missed calls from his mother in Kisumu, two WhatsApp messages from his younger brother asking about school fees, one text from his girlfriend wondering why he can't afford dinner this week. His salary comes in 5 days, but it's already spent completely, entirely, before a single shilling touches his account. He will answer those calls tomorrow. Tonight, he needs to breathe. This is not a story about one man. This is a story about millions. African men carrying mountains on their shoulders while the world watches their backs bend and calls it duty, strength, responsibility, masculinity. Nobody asks how heavy the mountain is. Nobody asks if they are tired. Nobody asks if they are okay. Here's the mathematics of impossible choices, and I want us to do the math together. Amani is 28. He works as a mid-level accountant in Dar es Salaam, earning 1.2 million Tanzanian shillings monthly, which is $450. Sounds decent, right? Here's where it goes. Rent in a modest one-bedroom, 400,000 shillings. Mother's monthly support, which includes medication plus living, 180,000 shillings. Younger brother's university fees, monthly installment, 250,000 shillings. Niece's secondary school fees, 120,000. Transport to work, Dala daily, 100,000 shillings. Food for the month, 150,000 shillings if he's lucky and eats one proper meal a day. Total, 1.2 million Tanzanian shillings. Remaining, nothing. Zero. He breaks even if nobody gets sick. Nothing breaks and no emergencies happen. This doesn't include the auntie who just had surgery and needs 350,000 shillings. The cousin's wedding contribution expected from all successful relatives. The hometown association levy for community development. His own health checkup he's been postponing for 2 years. New work clothes. His only shirt has frayed sleeves. Savings, professional development, mental health, dreams. According to the African Development Bank's 2023 report, approximately 68% of employed African men support at least 5 people beyond their immediate nuclear family. The average African man financially supports 7 to 10 dependents throughout his working life. They are not just workers. They are entire social safety nets, living, breathing pension systems for extended families. And when they falter even slightly, when they dare to say, I can't this month, the disappointment, the guilt, the shame is suffocating. Before African men become the financial pillars they are expected to be, many of them survive something else. School. Remember Thabo? Brilliant kid. Straight A's in primary school in Gaborone. Got to Form 1 and something changed. His teacher, Man Kosi, noticed he fidgeted, couldn't sit perfectly still for 40 minutes straight. Normal 12-year-old boy energy. Her solution? Public caning. Boys need discipline, she'd say, while the girls get gentle corrections and encouraging smiles. By the time Thabo was 14, he dropped out. Not because he wasn't smart, because he was tired of being punished for existing in a boy's body. A 2019 UNESCO study across 12 African countries found that boys received corporal punishment in schools at rates 3 to 4 times higher than girls for identical behaviors. Boys labeled troublesome at age 7 often internalize this by age 10. The pipeline from difficult boy to school dropout is well documented but rarely addressed. Across the continent, from Botswana to Egypt, from Senegal to Rwanda, boys consistently have higher dropout rates than girls in secondary school. Not because of lack of intelligence or opportunity, but because classroom environments systematically break their spirit before they can flourish. We celebrate when girls are protected in education, and we should. But who is protecting the boys being told daily that their very nature is problematic? Sekou, 19, was walking home from his evening shift at a pharmacy. Wrong place, wrong time. Someone's phone got stolen nearby. The crowd saw a young man running. He was late for curfew, trying to catch the last baka. Crowd decided he must be the thief. No questions, no verification, no pause. They set him on fire, alive. Oh. His mother found him at the morgue the next day, still clutching his employee ID card. He wasn't a thief. He was a son, a student, a human being. Mob justice kills hundreds of African men yearly. The Clean Foundation documented 421 cases of mob justice deaths in Nigeria alone in 2022. 89% of victims were young men between ages 16 to 35. Most were later proven innocent. Being a young African man in the wrong neighborhood, at the wrong hour, with the wrong complexion, wrong accent, wrong clothes, it can cost you your life. Not might, can, and does regularly. We teach our daughters to be safe at night. Who is teaching communities that our sons' lives matter too? That black skin and male body parts don't equal criminal intent. Diallo made it. That's what everyone back home in Douala said. He is in Paris now. Made it. Big man, the dream. Here's what they don't know. Diallo works 3 jobs. Uber Eats, delivery from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. Amazon warehouse packer from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Night security guard from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. He sleeps 4 hours a night in the chamber de bonne, a tiny attic room shared with 2 other African men. The room costs €650 a month. His share is €220, but it's Paris, so it might as well be his entire life savings monthly. Winter is hell, -8 degrees. He's delivering food on an electric bike because that pays $2 more per hour than walking. His fingers have permanent numbness from frost. He hasn't seen a doctor, can't afford to miss work, can't afford the €25 consultation fees, even with his Carte Vital. 2 weeks ago, a customer spat at him and called him Stale Noir because the restaurant forgot the extra sauce. He apologized profusely. He needs a rating to stay above 4.8 or they will deactivate his account. The customer still reported him. He lost a day's wage while they investigated. Last month, his mother called. His younger sister needs surgery. €2,800. His father's funeral contribution, €600. His nephew's school fees, €400. He sent €1,800 total. Didn't eat protein for 3 weeks. Walked to work to save the $5 daily metro fare. The calls from home don't stop. We know you are in Paris. Things are better there. They think he's relaxing by the Eiffel Tower. He is actually contemplating whether to skip dinner or skip breakfast tomorrow because both aren't possible. According to the International Labour Organization's 2022 report on African migrants in Europe, African men constitute 43% of all documented workplace deaths among migrants, despite being only 31% of the migrants' workforce. They take the most dangerous jobs, construction, delivery, waste management, security, because they pay slightly better, slightly, not enough to be safe, but enough to send home. 3 men Diallo knew died in the past 2 years. 1 in a warehouse accident, 1 from undiagnosed illness he couldn't afford to treat, 1 took his own life. Nobody back home knows. They sent money for his funeral and called him a hero who made it abroad. When is the last time you asked an African man how he's really doing? Not, are you fine? Where yes is the only acceptable answer. Not, you good? Said in passing, but actually sat down, looked him in the eye, and asked, are you carrying too much? Are you tired? Do you need help? The African man is drowning in expectations, and the world hands him more weight and calls it responsibility. Cultural practices from time immemorial dictates he must never show weakness. That's unmanly. He must provide. Always, your worth equals your wallet. He must not complain. Suffering builds character. He must protect everyone. But who protects him? He must be strong. And the translation is, suppress every human emotion you have. Mental health, depression, anxiety, those are white people problems. Real African men don't break down. They just break silently, often fatally. A 2023 WHO study found that African men have suicide rates 60% higher than reported because many deaths are classified as accidents or unknown causes to avoid family shame. Single vehicle accidents at night, drowning in shallow water, falls from building with no witnesses. They are not accidents. They are escapes from unbearable pressure that nobody acknowledged until it was too late. Try being an African man seeking help from the system designed to protect citizens. Any system, any country. Police, walk while black and male, you're suspicious. Drive a decent car, you must be a Yahoo boy or corrupt. Stand on a corner, you are loitering. Exist, you're a potential criminal until proven otherwise. And sometimes proving otherwise still isn't enough. Banks, try getting a loan as a young African man with no collateral. Your dreams, not bankable. Your business idea, too risky. Your desperation, not your problem. That same bank will happily give loans to established businesses or people with connections. You, work harder, bootstrap, figure it out. Employment, the World Bank's 2023 African Economic Outlook notes that young African men face 34% higher unemployment than their peers in other regions, despite often having equal or better qualifications. When they do get jobs, they earn 18 to 25% less than expatriates doing identical work. Healthcare, men are 4 times less likely to visit health facilities until conditions become critical. Partly cultural stigma, partly because they can't afford to miss work, partly because the system doesn't market health services to men the way it does to women and children. Legal system, domestic violence against men is a joke in most African courts. Men comprise less than 2% of domestic violence reports, not because it doesn't happen. Studies suggest 1 in 5 African men experience intimate partner violence, but because reporting means mockery, disbelief, and emasculation. Some traditional practices disadvantage men so systematically that we've normalized them. Bride price. Sounds romantic until you realize it commodifies relationships and sets impossible financial standards for young men trying to marry. In parts of East Africa, bride price can cost 3 to 5 years worth of average salary. In Ethiopia, it's called Tilosh. A young man in Addis Ababa might need to say 200,000 to 400,000 birr just for the negotiation to begin. That's 2 to 4 years of salary for an average office worker. Young men delay marriage, relationships, families, or go into debt because love has a price tag they can't afford. Widowhood rights. When a woman dies, her husband mourns. When a man dies, his widow faces degrading rituals in some communities. But when he dies, guess who is expected to shoulder everything? His brothers. more mouths to feed, more responsibilities, no questions asked. Inheritance practices. In many communities, sons inherit responsibility, but daughters inherit protection. He gets his father's debts, his mother's welfare, his siblings' education costs. She gets married off and protected by her husband. Both are unfair in different ways, but somehow only one conversation happens loudly. Age grade systems and fraternal societies demand contributions young men can't afford but must pay or face ostracism. Community development levies fall hardest on young men. Every celebration, every funeral, every festival, his pocket must contribute or he is a disappointment. When is the last time you saw a post celebrating the man who paid his sister's tuition instead of buying himself a new shoe? The father who worked 2 jobs so his kids don't know hunger. The uncle who sacrificed his own education to fund his nieces and nephews. The young man who sends half his salary home and lives on hope and Gary. Or the brother who stands in the gap when the family falls apart. We don't celebrate these men. We expect them. Expectations without appreciation. Duty without recognition. Sacrifice without acknowledgement. They break records carrying families on their backs and we don't even notice until they collapse. Then we ask, why didn't they say something? While forgetting we created systems where speaking up equals weakness. African men are heroes without capes, working miracles on minimum wage, and we treat their sacrifices like it's the least they could do. This is not about comparing suffering. It's not about dismissing women's struggles or children's needs. This is about seeing a crisis we've collectively ignored because we've gendered strength so completely that we've forgotten men are human too. African men deserve to be celebrated for their sacrifices, not just expected to sacrifice more. To seek help without shame, to cry without being called weak, to say I'm struggling without the world crumbling around them, to be protected by systems instead of profiled by them, to have mental health acknowledged as their right to pursue education without being beaten into silence, to walk streets without fear of mob justice, to have their labor valued, their dignity protected, their humanity recognized. Start today. Check on the men in your life. Really check. Look past the I'm fine and see the weight they're carrying. Acknowledge it, appreciate it, help them carry it. Tell that brother supporting his entire family that he's doing amazing. Tell that friend working 3 jobs that it's okay to rest. Tell that young man struggling abroad that his worth isn't measured by the money he sends home. Tell that son under pressure that crying doesn't mean him less a man. And policymakers, community leaders, families, restructure these systems. Please restructure these systems. Create mental health resources for men. Reform legal systems to protect everyone equally. Challenge cultural practices that break people. Build employment structures that pay fairly. Stop glorifying suffering as strength. Because right now, somewhere in Africa, there is a man staring at his phone. 3 missed calls, 2 messages, 1 text. His salary is spent before it arrives. He's exhausted. He's barely surviving. And he'll answer those calls tomorrow with I'm fine, because that's what's expected. But he's not fine. And it's time we stopped accepting that answer. And this is their story.